Hey, Kristaps, right in front. Welcome to Boston. Welcome to being part of the Celtics. What was your reaction when the deal went through and for you to be part of the Celtic? And now you're here today, about to tip off training camp, and we see you guys getting closer to the full unit, what you'll be.
Yeah, very excited. Yeah, the whole summer was I was just excited for what's coming, and being here now, being healthy to begin the season, it just gives me like extra motivation and extra fire to have a great year, and yeah, I'm very happy so far here. Been around 10 days or so, maybe a couple of weeks, and yeah, love the city, organization. Everybody has welcomed me with open arms. So yeah, excited for the season.
Yeah. Brad mentioned that you've been practicing and working out. How's your foot feeling?
Yeah, feeling great, and no limitations. Just the medical staff did a great job of loading up slowly, and now as I'm getting close to the training camp, we start tomorrow, I'm perfectly fine and ready to go.
And if you've been able to get on the floor with Jalen and Jason, what's your impressions of them? How does it feel playing with those guys on the floor?
High-level players, high-level everything, decision-making, everything. And I think it's just going to be a matter of time before we find that rhythm on the court. And I think my game is going to complement their games so much. I'm going to try to open things up for them, and I know that's what's going to make my game also much more easier. So I'm looking forward to that.
Kristaps, you just said you're perfectly fine, no limitations, all of that. Can you explain the process of what did you first feel? How bad was it? What was the process of getting to this point? What makes you so confident that you're fine moving forward?
Yeah, so I think it started because I changed shoes during the summer, and I think that's what kind of got the foot a little bit sensitive. And I didn't pay too much attention to it. I kind of kept working out, kept playing, because the training camp was about to start for a national team, and I was actually in great shape and feeling good. Just the foot was a little bit bothering me, so I told the medical staff, and they told me to rest for a few days, and we just couldn't get that much like progress in such a short time. So the smart decision was to sit out and make sure the foot actually gets to recover before I start the season. And that's what I did. It was a really, really tough decision. I know it may not seem for you guys like it was, but it was such a big deal for me not to be able to play for my country back in the World Cup. Really, like, hurt my soul. So, but I knew it was the right decision, and yeah, I'm glad I made that tough decision in that moment. And now I'm as I said, 100% to start the season.
Hey, Kristaps, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Last season, played 65 games. Was at this point in your career, was that a turning point for you to know that you had that, convince yourself you have that durability again?
Mm-hmm.
And you talked in the press conference here earlier in the summer. You talked about you're grateful to be with a championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just talk about that as well?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I definitely believe that I am in the right time in my career, as I'm kind of going into my prime at this age, and my body is much more mature than it was when I was 20 years old, and also I think I always kept in mind that the injuries that I had, the longer ones, kind of longer recovery ones, they were all like contact injuries, the ACL, it was always like, something happened and there was some contact. So I always kept that in mind and worked towards getting back to being healthy. And I think last season was a good example. I could have played 70 plus games last season, and I felt great. Throughout the year. I missed most of the games. Actually, I missed because I was sick, not because of injuries. So I expect that from myself again this season. Just being out there on the court, hopefully all the games. You know, I know it's the medical staff is going to do their part and tell me when I can and when I shouldn't play. But I want to play out there every game I can, and I will make sure I do so.
Kristaps, obviously you signed an extension here, so you're very comfortable. This is a different role than you've had, though, in your career, where you've been at least always a secondary scorer. Where here, there's a lot of talented players, and another talented player was just acquired yesterday. So I just want to know how you see how that working for you, how you may have to change the way you play a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if much is going to change for me, honestly. Just being around really talented guys. I think also what we have to keep in mind is the ages like most of us are in, you know, and I think that makes a difference. I think everybody realizes that we just want to be on the same page and achieve the ultimate goal. You know, we're gonna put our like stuff to the side, or it's not what we're here for. And we're gonna figure it out. You know, it's a lot of talent, a lot of players that can put up crazy numbers, and one night it's gonna be Drew, one night it's gonna be JT, whoever. Like all of these guys can score the ball, and for me it doesn't really matter as much. I think most important for me is that we find that rhythm as a group, and we work towards what we are brought here to do.
Kristaps, you came here, signed an extension, then you see Brad make a huge trade to go for Drew. So after seeing that move, seeing how all in the franchise is, how did that make you feel after already making that commitment?
Sorry, say that again.
The question is, I guess, how assured did you feel to see them making another huge trade after they already made a big trade for you?
Assured of what?
The franchise's commitment to go for
of course, yeah, of course. I mean, this was clear, no? I mean, these guys already been super close for a while, right? And then adding myself, adding Drew now, it's clear what we're trying to achieve here, no? It's and that's why I said that's the only goal. And as Coach said in this morning's meeting, that we have to live that life. We have to live that life daily, and then that reality is very real.
And speaking of that trade, how does losing Robert Williams change your role? Playing center, playing next to Al a little bit now, maybe. Like, how do you kind of see that changing your role?
I don't know. Good question. I don't know if that changes much for me. But we'll see. We have incredible, brains behind the roster, the players, so I'm sure the coaching staff and everybody else in the organization will figure out what's the most effective way for us to play and how and to be used. So we'll figure it out either way. But of course it hurts. I've been here for 2 weeks and I already could see how Rob is that charismatic guy for this group. So it's definitely hurts for this organization that he's not here anymore. But yeah, we wish him nothing but the best.
Final 2 questions, Luigi and then Jeff. Kristaps over here on your right. Just wondering, what were those conversations like when you guys were talking the contract extension? What did the front office kind of say to you in terms of not just having you for this year but beyond as well?
Yeah, well, what was the question again? Sorry.
Contract extension.
Yeah.
What was the front office kind of telling you?
Yeah, no. I got here, and I don't know the exact timing. And of course, I wanted to be here long term, and hopefully, I'm here for a long, long time. But. Yeah, that was it. I didn't understand the question. Thank you.
Kristaps, how comfortable are you at the 5 now? I mean, obviously, when you came into the league, you were a lot lighter than you are now. How comfortable are you?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I love playing both positions. Yeah, I think it's a tough job for other fives to guard me. We have very few like real post-up fives. You know, it's probably Joel and Nicola, right? Are two guys that really post up and play that kind of game. But the rest of the league, you know, at the five, I think the game is a little bit different. So for me, it doesn't really matter. I think defensively, I'm most effective if I can be around the rim and protecting the rim. And I think that's how I'm going to be used defensively, and offensively, I'll just find my game within what we're trying to do. Cool. Thank you.